Hi everybody, this is a Mystique sketch card. Now this one I had intended to color last week in a video, but I ran into some technical difficulties and I wasn't able to use that footage. So Mystique got colored, um, and we don't have a video of it, but that's okay because enter Stunt Mystique, my backup Mystique card. Now, I'm not just grinding out tons of Mystiques over here. I had drawn the colored Mystique first, specifically to color in a video. And what happened is my cat, for whatever reason, hid Mystique on me. And I went ahead and I drew runner-up Mystique over here. And later on, my cat returned Mystique number 1. So I ended up with 2 Mystiques, which is a good thing for now, because now I have a Mystique that I can hopefully color properly in a video for you to see. So, and there is Mystique number 1 again for you to see. And you'll see what we're hoping to go for. Okay, so Mystique, like a lot of my sketch cards, she is on a sketch card paper, which is just a nice, sturdy piece of Bristol. Now, one of the reasons I want to color Mystique is she presents some unique coloring problems, being blue the way she is. So we don't have skin tone to play with other than blue. Now, the secret here is to treat the blue, to treat her, the blue of her skin, the same way that I would treat any other flesh tone. So the only difference here is, well, it's blue rather than pink or any of the soft earth tone colors. So one of the things that's really going to help is to have lots of different shades of blue, a lot of different blues to play with, because that way I'll have a lot of different hues to mix, to blend. So just like with the flesh tones, what I've done is I've started filling in the areas where her skin would be darker. And I went in there with a fairly dark blue, which was my cobalt blue, okay? And I'm using my reliable, sturdy Copic markers, and I've got a number of blues to work with here. And I'll be jumping around to all those blues, which is why I say, you know, that one of the best things that you can do when you're coloring with Copics is just have lots of blues, or lots of colors in general. The more colors you have, the more you can do. But there's a lot that you can do with just a few strategic colors. So sometimes people worry that they just don't have enough to play with. But there's a lot that you can do with just a few. So I've got some of the really dark blue areas, and I'm trying to bleed out of there, and I'm trying to leave her a little bit of reflected light along this side, which is why I'm not filling that in all the way to her hair color. And if you've watched my videos before, you know, the videos where I'm coloring with my Copics, you know, I'm a big fan of leaving areas of white whenever I do flesh tones. And I'm going to be doing the same thing here too, because I want her to have some nice, really bright areas, some nice highlights on her face. So anywhere that I think she should have a highlight, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave that for, I'm just going to leave that white. I'm going to go back to my cobalt blue to darken up underneath her jawline a little bit, down her neck, maybe to punch up under the lip area and under her nose a little bit, this side of her nose, underneath the brow, this side of the face. This is acting like a core shadow for me, which means it's going to get lighter on either side. Now, whenever I go in with a dark like that, I follow it up with one of the lighter blues to sort of bleed out of it and get a little softer, not so heavy. Go in, just like that. A little bit of blue there. Now I want to go to some of my really light blues. So this is more of a powder blue. And I'm going to really work my way over to those highlights now, and on this side too. Sculpt that forward ball of the nose a little bit. Now what I might do, get a little bit of my pale yellow, which is sort of a light yellow. I'm going to use the pale yellow to sort of cook a little of these blues that I've been laying down, just to give them a little heat. I don't want to go too heavy because I don't want her to turn green on me, but I do want it to look as though she is catching some light. And I might go in with just a little more. This is a darker blue, but it's a warmer, darker blue. This is a peacock blue. So it's a little lighter. It's a little warmer, I should say. And I'm gonna go in with my pale sepia. And what I'm gonna do with my pale sepia is I'm gonna go into her eyes. And I'm going to suggest sort of a core shadow inside her eyes. And then I want to go in with my cadmium yellow. And I want to cook the eyes a little bit. And even in the eyes, well, especially in the eyes, I'm going to leave some white glowing in those eyes. Now I want to get my dark red. I'll do two things with the dark red. I want to go in and give her red upper lips. In most of anything I've seen of Mystique, she has red lips, like really red lips. So she's a shapeshifter, so her lips, I guess, could be anything. So I'm going in with my dark red, and I'm also adding in, as you can see, some dark red into her hair. She has red hair. So anywhere that the hair is dark, that I would see the hair as being dark, I'm going in, and I'm also just kind of brushing it in so the hair retains that hair texture. And if you've watched any of my Die Kitty Die coloring demos, where I color the main character of the Die Kitty Die series, Kitty Ravencroft, you'll notice I'm using really the same exact technique for her hair that for Mystique's hair that I use for Kitty's. So it's really It's really the same thing here. And again, just flicking the marker. I'm picking up those darks, and I'm flicking it up, flicking, keeping that hair texture. I'm going to go in. This is my cadmium red, if I haven't said so, which is sort of a medium red. So you could see, if you look closely in the lips, you could see it really sets off that dark red that I had just put down. Now the thing with this red is it is a little quiet, shall we say. So I like to break out my vermilion, which is sort of an orangier red. And that's heating up her hair somewhat. So going in, just picking up some of the red, mixing it in with this vermilion. And as with everything else, I don't want to kill these highlights. I'm leaving those highlights in her hair so they're nice and bright. Pick up, go back into that skin again. Sometimes I like to let a tone or a color just kind of settle. And I also like to bounce all over a face, a figure, whatever I'm drawing. I never just work on one spot. I'm always working all over that character, that figure. I'm going around, pushing some darks on her in certain places. And she's almost getting there. She's almost getting there. This is a very light blue, which is very nice for blending all these blues. And it's a nice one to work right up to that highlight. So if you need to cool off a highlight a bit, this is a good one. Now, one thing I want to try and show you, if I can, is that dark purple background that I got on the first one. You see there's a little bit of a glow there. Let me see if I could do that really quick. I'm going in with a really deep purple, not the band, just a color. And then what I do is I move into lighter purples as I go down. And then go over to my red violet. That really starts to warm things up. And my fuchsia to blend this a little bit better. And I may go in there with a little pink to really soften the end there. And just to cook everything a little bit, I'm going to go in with that pale yellow, and that's going to heat up the bottom. And that's pretty much Mystique. So I could go in and I could smooth out some of this stuff a little bit more, and maybe do little things on the face. But that's her. I hope you dig it. I hope you enjoyed this and hope you got something out of it. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Okay? Thanks a lot, everybody. And I'll see you in the next one very soon.